The so-called British supporters of Shamima have taken to social media to criticize the right of the United Kingdom to defend itself against its enemies. Yeah, this is all real stuff in real world in this country. People who are British, allegedly, who are going against the United Kingdom and our values. And not just values, the basic right to defend ourselves against, obviously, enemies internally and externally. So, essentially, the New Statesman have written this article, The Home of Communism, is a front for essentially socialist revolution. They've written this article about the Home Office's policy to, the one good thing essentially, I'm going to explain this by the way, to revoke citizenship from people who are now a threat to our security and national security. One example is Shamima. And this created a new debate. I don't understand why, but the Home Office decided to reply on Twitter. I'm not a big defender of Home Office, but with this specific area, I fully understand the policy. And I will, as I said, explain why it's essentially not as bad. Even as a libertarian-leaning conservative, I can defend it. They said that removing British citizenship has been possible for over a century and is always a last resort against the most dangerous people to protect our national security and public safety. It is rare and cannot leave anyone stateless and always comes with the right to appeal. Guess what happened? People who have public profile on social media, some of them obviously anonymous, but some of them have names, decided to shout Shamima, Shamima. One of them is Chukwu Anders, saying, again, some of them are British, some of them might not be British, but you can tell when I clicked on a few of them, they were actually British, as far as I could tell. So that's one, but Shamima, why not? And then there's more, Graham Jeffrey saying Shamima, well, with a question mark. Massive. I don't understand how. It's really fascinating. John Dexter, you made Shamima stateless. Okay. It's fascinating because they don't even know her. Yet they're defending her and supporting her. It's simply because people on the left and people who hate the West and our country tend to use people and groups and entities who don't even have, don't even know or have any links with, just to be against us. It's the same reason that a lot of people who became Ramonas, especially after the EU referendum, they didn't know about the EU before the referendum. They didn't care about the EU. Suddenly, they were like, well, look at these Brexiteers. We don't like Nigel Farage's face. I'm going to be a pro-EU person. Again, there's a lot of this. I'm guessing this profile is anonymous. We can't really tell. Saying Shamima is currently stateless. This next one is interesting. Dr. Dips, obviously. It would be nice if you could give one example of a time citizenship has been removed from a white person. Ooh, you opened the door. Look what you've done. Say you made me do it. You made me do it. I did not want to mention him. David Hicks. He seems white. I think he is. Yes, he is. Absolutely. He was British. Obviously, his background was also Australian, which means not only white, he was white Commonwealth. Like the people you hate. The white Commonwealth, British Commonwealth, and the Australians, the evil Canadians, and all this, yeah. And if the American stuff was happening slightly later, America would have been part of the Commonwealth too. You never know. So all the evil white people, yeah, he was his citizenship was removed because he was hanging out with his bestie Osama back in 2001, and so it's not just Shamima. It's not necessarily about, the skin color. It's not about that. At this point, it just happens to be that a lot of our enemies have a specific skin color. It's not our fault. It's actually quite ironic that a lot of people who are trying to say, well, the United Kingdom should be so flexible, just let her in, and just don't really care about your enemies. They're the people who don't really understand. If you go to Saudi Arabia and criticize the government, yeah, you're not gonna have a good weekend. Now, in terms of the policy, even as a libertarian-leaning conservative, that on paper I should be against or critical of the state having so much power to do certain things. Actually, considering this is what they do is treason. It's treasonous. It is. In the past, and even right now, we have some conservative-minded people who are advocating for essentially the punishment is for your life to be ended. We know that. Capital punishment, and when it comes to treasonous activities, it's always been there. And even right now, there's a discussion, maybe we should have it for people who actually go against our country. So this policy, in comparison, is actually quite soft. It's just taking away your citizenship. That's all it is. Regardless of your skin color. Stop it. Stop it, Shamima. Stop it is the obsession. Now, I wanted to make a happy Sunday video, but we did the first one on the Labour Party. That was funny, but this one is quite dark. So go have your breakfast. We're going to have more news stories for you throughout the day. We have a lot of serious stuff as well, because 50,000 vulnerable children have been abandoned by Boris Johnson's government thanks to the lockdown. So we're going to discuss that and a number of other stories that came out late last night. Subscribe to the channel, and definitely, please click on the bell next to it. Otherwise, you're not going to get notified. Our videos do not get recommended like before anymore. That's the best way to do it. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.